welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to talk about the letter that Black Lives Matter has sent to Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. Yes, they have sent a letter. In short, it is somewhat of a congratulatory letter, but in other aspects, it is a we elected you for president, here's what we want letter. Okay, so we're gonna dive into it a little bit. But before I do, I wanna mention something on the front end of this video so that I do not forget to mention it before I end the video. And that is to make sure that you go onto my brand new website at letstalkdarling.com. Make sure that you sign up there just to have, so I can have your email address, so I can keep in contact with you, because as you know, social media is censoring all of us very, very heavily. And at any given moment, I could lose all my social platforms and then not have any way of contacting you guys. I also have a really great section on there where you can read about my story, how I got to where I got to. You can check out my merch store where I have some really cool merch as well. Some of the stuff you see me wear on this channel. So go and check it out. Also, don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel. Don't forget to turn on notifications and make sure that you hit the all notifications button, because I've been going back and forth with YouTube tech support, and it is very, very important that if you want to know when I go live or when I drop a video, that you set your notifications to all, okay? All right, so let's jump into this letter. So as I said, Black Lives Matter sent a letter to Joe Biden. Now, this letter was sent on the heels of them technically, quote unquote, declaring them the projected winner of the 2020 presidential election. So that following Saturday, they Patrisse Cullors actually authored the letter. She's one of the 3 founding members of Black Lives Matter. As you know, or you may not know, there's 3 women, all lesbians. They founded Black Lives Matter. Patrisse Cullors is one of them. She's also a trained Marxist. Just thought I'd throw that in there. All right, so here is kind of in short what the letter says, and I am going to make sure to link it down below so you can read the entire thing for yourself. But I want to highlight some of the important parts. All right, so it says Cullors is asking for a meeting with the pair to discuss the expectations that they have for their administration and the commitments that must be made to Black people. She says in the letter, without the resounding support of Black people, we would be saddled with a very different electoral outcome, she wrote on behalf of the BLM Global Network. In short, Black people won this election. Alongside Black-led organizations around the nation, Black Lives Matter invested heavily in this election. Vote and organize became our motto, and our electoral justice efforts reach more than 60 million voters. We want something for our vote. Cullors then went on to ask that the group's voice be heard and its agenda be prioritized. So that's not all the letter says, but that is the most important parts of the letter. And now I kind of want to break it down for you with my thoughts, okay? So as you heard, there are some expectations. Now, the part that I found really, really funny, well, there's a couple parts that I find really, really funny, but let's just start with some of the more obvious parts, okay? So you claim to get somebody or help somebody get elected, right? And then you come forth with your expectations. That part cracks me up. So the way I think about it is before you go and organize and vote, right? You would think that you would be smart enough to get more official like documentation or an agreement that your expectations are going to be met before you give your vote, okay? That's how those of us that vote on the right do, okay? So we basically look at our candidates' policies, look at what they've actually done versus what they say they're going to do, and we vote based on the action that they've already taken, okay? Now, Trump is a very interesting character because he's never been in politics before, okay? So what we basically judged his record off of is how he handled his personal business. And, you know, it has to be said that the nation was in complete disarray after Obama we were desperate for some major change because what he was doing wasn't working. So, you know, it's like in Trump's own words, what did we have to lose, right? We took a gamble on him. Some of us took a gamble on him because I myself didn't believe that he was going to be able to pull it off, but he did. And he met us. He proved us right. He has accomplished everything. I mean, there's written documentation that he's actually done the things that he said he was going to do. So I say that because, you know, here you have BLM writing Joe Biden a letter after they claim to have gotten him elected saying, okay, now here's what we want. Okay. You know, not taking into account at all that Joe Biden has been in government for over 30 years and hasn't done anything. In fact, at one point he was the vice president. Kamala Harris has also been in government, and she has not done anything but put black men in jail. In fact, both of them, their records are more for the dismay and you know, decline of the black community than they are for the black community. So if you just go based on their previous record alone, I find it really, really funny that if you were going to put expectations on somebody and expect them to actually get done, that you would put them on two people that haven't done jack shit up until this moment, okay? You would think that if you're going to hold somebody's feet to the fire and you feel like there still needs to be more done, that maybe you would ask President Trump to sit down at the table with him and say, hey, we'll keep your presidency alive since you've been in office. Okay, and you have a proven record of making things better for the black community, and we're going to sit down and ask that you know, hear us out, because he's actually been open to that and has actually invited people to the White House for that discussion. He actually has an open door policy with that, but very few, you know, black athletes, black celebrities have taken him up on that offer. So that's that right there. The second claim that she made is that black people got them elected. Okay. So, and they want something for that vote. They want something for that vote. So I was looking at the numbers, and the numbers actually show that the turnout for black people as far as voting didn't really change much from the previous year. However, so we had a 5% of the vote was for black men and 7% of the vote was from black women. However, 100% of the black vote for women increased for the Republican vote and 35% for men. Okay, so if anything, Patrisse Cullors, you need to go back and look at your numbers, because the black vote did not elect Biden and actually was more for Trump and Kamala. Okay, so that's one thing. The other thing is we're not quite sure which votes are which, okay, because you have dead people voting, you have people voting, you know, twice, maybe 3 times, maybe 4 times. You have the system deleting votes, okay? So we can't really write a letter talking about how many votes went one way or the other, considering it's all been a big sham and fraud from this point, you know, or from that point forward. Which it's still under investigation. So that I think is funny as well, but they're so darn sure that he's going to be the president-elect. They took the time to write this letter and to let him know they got him voted in, okay? Even after he made a bunch of racist comments about them and also gave the eulogy at a former Klansman funeral, okay? All right, so they want to have a meeting with Biden and Harris to discuss these commitments. They want a seat at the table, and that's pretty much it. They really didn't go into the letter exactly with what the details are, and that's been pretty much the status quo for Black Lives Matter. They destroy their cities, they march, they protest, and nobody really knows what the hell they are asking for, okay? Now, you will talk to many people who are for Black Lives Matter, and they will say to you, well, the Black community deserves reparations, okay? So, Black community, I urge you to look at what President Trump has done financially for the Black community, with the highest unemployment that the Black community has ever experienced, the highest number of Black home ownership, money for HBCUs that has never been given to them before, money for the Black communities to rebuild, okay? What the communities in those cities are doing with the money that he's giving, I don't know. That's actually up to the leaders in those cities. Okay, so those are the people you actually need to be questioning if you feel like you haven't seen the fruits of that money hit your community. But the fact of the matter is, if it's reparations that you're looking for, Trump has been giving them to you. Okay, the reality is this: when you ask these people about reparations, and when I say these people, I'm talking about the Black Lives Matter people, they want a check, okay? They want money in their bank account. They want like a flat out amount written out, payable to them, so they can go cash it and put it in their bank account and spend it on whatever they want. But what they don't understand is reparations can come in many different forms. And I understand why President Trump chooses to give the money to the Black community the way he does versus giving it to them in a check, okay? And I understand it because my people would be doing the same thing, okay? It is human nature when you get a check or when you get extra money that you don't have, that most people are not smart enough to invest it wisely or to, do what they need to do with it. They go and spend it. Hence, like when people get a stimulus check, okay, you see the lines outside the Nike store, you see, people lining up for the newest Xbox or PlayStation or whatever the fact may be. They've got their nails done, they've got their, they've got all these new hairstyles and new clothes. And their lights are getting turned off, their water's getting turned off, their cars are getting repossessed. They still live in the ghetto. You know what I mean? So they're not really, the majority of people are not really smart enough to do what is wise with that money. So, President Trump knows that in order for things to get done with that money that are actually going to make a big impact, you have to put it towards specific things. So those are really the, two things that I wanted to point out about this letter. I mean, the utter stupidity of it altogether is laughable. I don't know anybody that would take it serious. And I'll be honest with you, Black Lives Matter, Patrisse Cullors, I hope you're watching this. They're not going to care about your letter, okay? If in fact they do get into office and he is the president and she is the vice president, game over, okay? They got what they want from you, from what they wanted from you. They don't care, okay? Now, I know Black Lives Matter. They're going to retaliate. They're going to continue to create chaos, okay? And this is the other thing I need people to understand. They don't care, okay? They have been prepping us for the destruction and for the poor behavior and for the lack of accountability that they are holding these people to, that I hope people understand that they don't care if Black Lives Matter gets upset, that they don't get their demands met, okay? And that they're gonna go and destroy their city. They don't care, because that's gonna happen in those Democrat-run cities. And you think that those cities are gonna get their money back from the government about, from all the destruction? Don't think that even if President Trump gets into office, that those cities are gonna get money to rebuild all the destruction that they allowed to happen, that those poor Democrat-run cities allowed to happen, during this time, allowed their citizens to destroy things without holding anybody accountable. It's just not going to happen, okay? So I don't know exactly where they think they're going with this. Maybe they should have tried the angle of doing something like what Ice Cube did, where he put together an actual plan. Okay, instead of a BS letter, he put together a plan, he put together an idea, he set up a time to actually meet with whoever was in power to discuss how they can help him accomplish that, okay? But you don't go and destroy cities, go and kill people, talk about destroying the nuclear family, talk about how you need more money for Planned Parenthood so Black women can march themselves in there every day and kill their unborn Black babies, and then say that you want to have a seat at the table so that you can improve things in the Black community. They don't care about you, Patrisse Cullors and Black Lives Matter. And you guys, this is why I don't support Black Lives Matter. I support Black lives. I love Black people. I don't support Black Lives Matter. It's a bullshit organization. It's set up to take your money. It's set up to destroy the Black community, not help it. But I want to know what you guys think. Take a look at the letter. Let me know if you've even heard about this or if you even care and if you even think that anything's going to get done. At the end of the day, I don't think Biden or Harris are going to be in office. I am almost 100% sure that President Trump will continue the next 4 years in office. And will he continue to do things for Black people? Of course he will. He's already put together the Platinum Plan. So hopefully we will see that come out, and at the end of the day, it'll all be in our favor, and not in Black Lives Matter favor. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to share this video. And again, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you guys so much and have a good day. Bye-bye.